Yo guys, what's up? Welcome to my first series on YouTube with Leicester City, the team that I support. Unlike a lot of people, didn't start supporting them last year when they started doing well in the league. Anyway, we see one of the new features to this year's career, which is selecting your avatar for your manager. And here we see is going into the Champions League here, setting up that and seeing all the settings I'm going to be using for this career mode. Here we see that we're deciding to go into one of the pre-season tournaments that you get to do at the start of each career mode, and we go here to see what's said is the expectations for this year and what is involved in the transfer window. Here we decide to have a look at what another new feature in this year's career mode, which is your objectives and overview, which you get to see here: youth development, brand exposure, continental success, domestic success, and also financial. I've left it on the screen for a bit longer just in case you want to read some of the objectives that we are expected to achieve this year, and also the numbers. Here we see that we're going into one of the first training sessions of the season, hoping to improve a lot of our players through this. I want to improve a lot of the players that are already at the club, just because it'll be a bit more interesting. Here we see the first bit of transfer business going for Douglas Costa and Yannick Carrasco, because we need to improve the left side of the pitch a bit more, because Albrighton and Fuchs are good, but we just want to improve that a bit more, add on to that. Both of those offers got rejected, so we decided to go in and add a bit more to the offers, and we go into our first match here against Mönchengladbach in our tournament. Not a lot really happened until the 14th, 16th minute, where one of the Gladbach players gets a yellow card. Then we go 1-0 up with Slimani here. Then we double our lead with Musa. Nothing. Then Mönchengladbach pull one back with Hahn. And nothing. Here we go into another training session, hoping to improve our players a bit more again. Obviously in this also in the pre-season tournaments we're looking to get a bit more prize money. Another unacceptable offer for Yannick Carrasco, so we up that to 30 million now. Then we go into another game against Sporting Lisbon, which is the second game of the group stages. Nothing really happened until the 12th minute where Gray grabs the goal and then they pull it straight back with Mele. One of their players in Ruiz gets an injury here, and they have another couple of substitutes, but that was a pretty dead game. Anyway, we get going for an offer on Reedwell here, 5.5 million for him, and Tony Valena, which we put in an 8 million bid for him as well. And we then go in for Bioza, which we put in a 6 million bid, and again trying to improve the left hand side, we go in for an offer on Lavin Kurzawa. Also another young English player here we have to go in for him is Tabby Abraham, and Reece Oxford also. We're going for Slanky of Chelsea here for 1.5 million, and the Premier League's player of the month in Min Heung-min Son. We get another unacceptable offer here for Douglas Costa, and we decide to just dismiss that, where we then get an offer for Leonardo Ulloa, where we decide to counter offer for 3 million for him, and we go in for a young Dutch striker here in Roberta. Then, being as a lot of the strikers at this club are quite old now, we're going for Angel Correa, and then for right mid purposes we're going for Silva. Just to add a few more defenders as well, we go in for him. Johan Benelune gets an offer from Watford here, and we also go in for Dominic Solanke again, being as they accepted our offer. We go in and offer him a contract. Here we see the offer was unacceptable for Reece Oxford, so we put in a 1.2 million bid for him. And also we go in for Tammy Abraham, being as his offer was accepted. We offer him 25 grand a week on a 5-year deal. The offer was also unacceptable for Lavin Kurzawa, so we go in for a 20 million bid now on him. See if that gets accepted. Both of the Ajax players got rejected, so we went in for Bioza for 8 million now. And also Tony Valena, we upped his bid to 10 million here. Also Yannick Carrasco's offer was rejected, so we dismissed that one as well. We go into the last game of the group stages here in our pre-season tournament, and straight away Porto take the lead against us, but Mahrez brings it back. Nothing really happened after that. A few changes for each side, and also a yellow card for Porto. As we enter the final few minutes, we see here also that Son's offer was accepted, so we put in a £70,000 a week offer for him, and also Riedewald's offer was accepted, which I was quite surprised to see that he only wants £10,000 a week for a 5-year deal. Here we go into another training session. Not really much to say about it, to be fair, apart from Johnson going up in a rating, which is all good to see. Here we can see another transfer offer, and this time it's for Jamie Vardy. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but every career mode that I've watched so far. Vardy is indeed left to Chelsea, but I decided to reject this bid because I think that Vardy's a good player, even though he is quite old. We want to keep him at the club. Also, again, improving the defence. We tried to sign Phil Jones, and again we go in for an offer on Bernardo Silva at 22 million. We then see that the offer for Benalune was accepted for Watford, so he should be going to Watford, and Solanke becomes our first signing of the series so far. Anyway, Lavin Kurzawa, offer was unaccepted again, so we go in for him, and Bioza's offer was accepted, so we give him a contract offer, and also Tony Valena's offer was accepted, so we decide to put in a contract offer on him also. Here we go into the semi-finals of our pre-season tournament, where we're playing Bayer Leverkusen. There was a yellow card in the first few minutes of this game, but nothing really happened throughout this game really, until there was a sub, which isn't too interesting. Another yellow card, and we won that game 5-4 on penalties. Here we see another offer for Benalune, but really even if we do accept this, he's going to Watford anyway really. Another offer unacceptable for Presnel. I do not know how to pronounce that last name, so I ain't gonna try. Anyway, and then we see another offer unacceptable for Angel Correa, so we go in for him also. 15.5 million bid, and Roberta's offer gets accepted, so we put a contract offer on the young Dutch striker. Min Son gets his offer accepted also, and he accepts his contract, so he becomes our second signing of the series, which I think will be a big improvement to the side. I think he should be a good player and really perform for the club. And we see we got a bit of transfer money here for going into the final of the Tammy Abraham here didn't accept his. He wants to know his spot at the club, so we say future transfer, future first team player here, and we get a offer for Ben Hamer, so we go and counter offer that to get a bit more money out of him. Again, another bid for Jamie Vardy here, which we go ahead and reject again. I just really want to keep him at the club for what he did for his last season. Didn't end up leaving to Arsenal as everyone thought he would, but that's all good for us really. Then finally Lavin Kurzawa's offer gets accepted, so we put in a contract bid for him, and we see that Bioza's contract gets accepted, but we don't in fact do it at this point. We're going for Phil Jones again at 11.5 million this time. We then just dismiss this bid for Bernardo Silva because it's going to be a bit too much for a backup player really, and then we go in and accept Bioza's offer, and we also go in and accept Reedwell's offer. We then see that Benalune did in fact leave to Watford, and we look at the Tony Valena bid here. I didn't know whether to accept this, being as we just brought in Bioza, but we did bring in Roberta. The young Dutchman should really do well for the club. Again, the guy that I can't pronounce, which anyone knows how to pronounce this name, please let me know in the comments, because I haven't got a clue. Here we go into the final against the team that we did draw against in our group, Porto, and they take the lead within the first 20 minutes here, which isn't the best way to start the game. Then we get a yellow card here with Almata, but Silamani brings one back for us. A few changes and another yellow card for Fuchs here. And then they go and grab it late on, 87th minute, and they win the game on that. Here we see that Reece Oxford's offer was accepted, so we're going and put in another contract offer. There's a lot of transfer business in this episode, apart from the simulated games. Here we put in a sprite again. Abraham said that he didn't want to join the club with the squad role, so we in fact put in another bid for him at a sporadic role. And again we go into some more training. We see that Uche went up to a 57 rated striker now. I know these players ain't going to come to much, but it's why not. Here we see that Marcin Vasilevsky gets an offer. I know he ain't bringing any money, but it's a bit of contract money, so we decide to accept that bid. And we again see that Phil Jones' offer was unacceptable, so we go and put another offer in for him. And the offer for the guy that I cannot pronounce gets accepted here, so we decide to accept that. And that's the last bit of business really, apart from Kurzawa getting accepted. If you like the video, like, comment. Thank you guys.